Well, let's talk about the Thursday night game, 8:20 p.m. Eastern. New England Patriots 6-4, 3-2 on the road at Minnesota Vikings 8-2, 4-1 at home. U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The Vikings opened up -3. They're now -2.5. When it first went to 2.5, it was heavily juiced between -119 and -127. Now it's just -109. So, uh, a lot of people dealing with a possible bias, but obviously the Vikings are a tricky team to break down. This total opened up at 42.5, slightly juiced to the under. It's now 42.5, slightly juiced to the over. Let's take a look at the cash in this one. 5,346 tickets in. 32% of the tickets and 53% of the cash is on the New England Patriots. Then 70% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the under. Patriots coming off their third straight win, 10-3 at home over the Jets, 14 straight win over the Jets. Marcus Jones became the first player in the NFL this year to return a punt for a touchdown and did it with seconds remaining to win the football game. Birdie was on our Sunday show, NFL Pub Hub, and he said it'd be a great time to bet no touchdown in this game. Great time to bet it. And I know a few of our guys did, and it was heartbreaking to see that happen.
Rough.
Mac Jones was 23-27 for 246 yards. Ramondre Stevenson struggled on the ground, 15 carries for 26 yards, but he led the way with 6 catches for 56 yards. Jacoby Myers had 4 catches for 52. Damian Harris had a nice bounce back performance, 8 carries for 65 yards, caught 2 for 28. The defense completely shut down Zach Wilson, completely shut down the Jets. Jets had 6 first downs, 103 total yards. In the second half, the Jets had 2 yards on 7 possessions. They held Wilson to just 9 of 22 for 77 yards, 4 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, and Matt Judon continued his spectacular season. Now 13.5 sacks on the year, and only one player in Patriots franchise history, Andre Tippett, Hall of Famer, has had more in one season. He had 18.5 and 84 and 16.5 and 85. Nick Folk was just 1 of 3 on field goals. David Andrews left late in the first quarter with a thigh injury and didn't return. He was replaced by James Ferentz, and the thought after the game was he was going to be out for an extended period of time. He practiced in full today. He wants to play. He says he can play through this injury. He's expected to be the center on Thursday night. They lost their left tackle, Isaiah Wynn, ruled out with a foot injury. He was replaced by Trent Brown. Vikings had their 7-game winning streak snapped in stunning fashion. We talked about it in our Cowboys breakdown. 5th largest loss in their franchise history, 40-3 at home. The Cowboys, still 8-2. They have the smallest average winning margin in 90 years. They're 8-2, and they've been outscored 231-229. Kirk Cousins was awful, 12 of 23 for 105 yards. TJ Hawkinson led receivers with 5 catches for 34 yards. Justin Jefferson was held to just 3 for 33. The Vikings were dominated in all facets of the game. The defense was atrocious. They applied no pressure on Dak. 0 sacks, 1 quarterback hit. Cowboys scored on their first 7 possessions. Left tackle Christian Darrisaw left with a concussion. He's in concussion protocol, so he's not going to be available. That's not been confirmed yet that he's not going to be available. Andrew Booth Jr. got his first career start because Caleb Evans was in concussion protocol, and he was replacing the injured Cam Dantzler. I mean, this looked horrible. And then defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson missed his 3rd straight game with a calf injury. So I would be on the Vikings right now if I didn't see the sharp action here on the Patriots. It's enough to slow me down and just want to listen. Listen to you guys in the chat and listen to you, Andy. Break it down for us. Patriots, Vikings. Do you have a look?
Yeah, I'm surprised it took that long for someone to bring up Kirk Cousins primetime. And even though the other 2 games are like way bigger spreads, this feels like the worst of the 3. It feels like a bad one to have at night. I'm going to be teasing the Patriots with another team, like getting a super low total and a 2.5. I love, especially how good their defense has looked. And this offense, yeah, it's Mac Jones and it's not been great, but the Jets defense is getting more legit, by the day. That is everyone thinks so except for Zach Wilson, I guess, but that is like legitimately EPA per play over the last like 5 weeks. That is a top 5 defense. Minnesota's has been no joke as well. Some of the matchups have kind of helped that, especially if you take out that Dallas game. But Minnesota's offense has been similar, again, going back to like last 5 to 6 weeks. Minnesota's offense Just again at EPA per play, more similar to like a Jets or Rams team. This offense has had some flashy plays, but it's had some struggles in the red zone outside of the game after the bye, has had some struggles on third down. And yeah, this is a nice tease spot. This is a very close game. I think I could get some. I could absolutely get behind the people that took the threes with New England. It's a very good defense. They're going to miss Win, but sounds like their center is cleared. He was limited, but it sounds like he's going to be playing. So yeah, this is kind of a bad matchup for the Minnesota offense. And I think New England, this is a huge difference in defenses. They played a top 5 essentially defense last week, and now they get a very beleaguered defense with a kind of a bad secondary. So I do see New England being able to move the ball a little here, especially a nice indoor matchup there in US Bank Stadium. So I did take them in a teaser spot here.
Do you feel like, I mean, we see all these bets on the under, but that could be a mistake after watching the Patriots struggle against the Jets defense that you spoke highly of. Now get a chance to open it up against the Viking secondary that's injured and awful. And then we think that the Vikings are capable, obviously, of bouncing back offensively at home. And getting back on the field right away is exactly what you want to do in after a 40-3 loss. Like if you had a free $500 bet on the total at 42.5, do you go over it or under it?
Probably still under, just because I like New England to have more offense than they did last week, but I still have it as an average offense. I'm not saying you're going to come out and just blast the doors off this defense, but they'll have a better week indoors against a much more susceptible secondary in Minnesota, but it's still an average offense. The reason this is low is it's an average offense versus a bad defense, and a bad defense a really good defense in New England against what has been a flashy offense at times, but has struggled to put it all together repeatably and has been really lucky to win some games in Minnesota. It's not a bad team, Minnesota, but they probably this is a team that's probably closer to being on par with New England rather than like they were earlier in the week, a 3-point favorite. Even at home, that makes them a point better. I think these teams, all things considered, should be about maybe New England by half on a neutral. I have to look at my numbers here, but yeah, I like New England in the teaser quite a bit, as it is in the Wong zone and we have a low total.
I also think I'm in agreement with the look from Birdie on a team total with the Patriots. I think that could be really in action here. Get a over 20.5 for the Patriots is at plus money. I find that appealing. Get a plus money spot with them. I'm interested. I think the Patriots are going to be able to put up points. I guess the problem here is that I just don't want to bet against a team that just got destroyed. I just don't see the value in that ever. But if they had, I wish they looked better, and I'd be all over the Patriots here. Birdie says, I don't think this game will be close. You have Birdie and Sky Dragon both on the Patriots here. Tasha doesn't like the Pats here. And then Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, says Vikings off the loss, baby. Says, I wasn't here to warn you not to bet them last week, and for that I apologize, but they bounced back here. Look, I didn't want anything. I don't want anything to do with Vikings ever. But now, Pie Guy is on the Pats plus 3. Papa Collins did a great job getting the Pats plus 3.5. Well, I'm interested in the Patriots team total over in this one. I don't know. I really don't know that we can expect a true bounce back spot. They're going up against another tough defense. How much better is the Cowboys defense compared to the Patriots defense?
I mean, over the whole of the season, the Patriots defense is better. If you go for the entire season and just look at a couple different metrics, but especially just EPA per play, but right now Dallas is absolutely just sun running, peaking. That said, New England's still right up there in defensive everything, defensive efficiency. I still have them as, top 5. And it's a well-coached team.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish I got in on that 3. Pinnacle opened up at that 3 at 7:05 p.m. on Sunday night. Within 28 minutes, there'd been a 10-cent move towards the Patriots. 30 minutes after that, another 7-cent move. This 3 lasted at Pinnacle for 1 hour. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
And then Papa Call's pointing at Minnesota. Yeah, Darisaw not playing. Right away on Sunday, they said this concussion isn't clearing by Thursday. So Minnesota missing another offensive line piece against a good pass rush. Juden might have 4 sacks. Who knows?
Well, Darisaw, I mean, that's the second straight game with a concussion, right? So, I mean, we could not see him for a month.
Yeah, you just never know with these concussions how long this shit's gonna last.
Birdie says, rookie coach, short week, prime time for Cousins, playing the number 1 D, playing a coach who will prepare his team on a short week. Pie Guy says, Belichick versus a rookie coach on a short week. Vipe in the house. Viper, I hope you had a great birthday yesterday. We were thinking about you, my man. Hope you had a great, great birthday. All right, there you have it. Those are the 3 games here. And I guess when it's all said and done, I would like to move on the Patriots. And I wouldn't be against the Patriots team total over and the Patriots. And I think that should be the plan for me. So that, I guess I will move on that tonight. It sucks that I missed the 3. I will decide between the 2.5 or the money line. And then I will have a lot of interest in the team total as well. I just think that Vikings defense is a real problem. I hate betting against the team after losing 40-3. But maybe this is a time where I just need to trust it, because another side of that is the Patriots didn't look good last week. So,
well, and that's the thing, Jimmy. Later in the season, you're not going to be seeing as big as swings in the market off one game. They're not just going to, there's not going to be huge value against. There's not this zigzag theory because there's a bigger sample size they're going to be using. So, yeah. I mean, and people are asking neutral field Pats be favored. Close. I mean, I think most power rankings would have Minnesota by about a half point. I'm very close to neutral and leaning towards Patriots as a slight favorite on a neutral.
And the difference,
and some of that has to do with not just pure power rankings. That's pure power rankings plus matchup,
and also 3 days rest. That has to play into the fact that if this was a full week off and the Vikings got to lick their wounds and have some players come back from injury, then maybe it would be different. Burgundy Bet says the Patriots haven't beaten anyone. Vikings have road wins over Miami and Buffalo. The Vikings are getting weaker. The injuries are affecting them. Losing Cameron Dantzler was a big deal. And I know Cameron Dantzler's, grade right now is not that high on Pro Football Focus, but you replace him with Caleb Evans, and then you have to go replace a Caleb Evans. Like, it's just, you're getting worse and worse and worse. All right, let's keep rolling. Jacqueline, great to see you. Says, good evening, gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with you and your family. Thank you for the kind words, Jacqueline. Sky Dragon has New England 0.25 points better on a neutral field. Okay, I want the Patriots. I want the Patriots here, and I'll decide tonight whether I get in pregame or just focus on seeing if I can get in on them live. I think I need to have something on them pregame. All right, those are your Thursday night spots. So at this point for Thanksgiving Thursday, nothing official from Andy. If I forced you,
well, I'm teasing the Patriots. I got to get to the other half of it.
Okay. But if I forced you to make
Patriots.
one $500 bet on a side or a total on these 3 Thursday games, what would end up being the most appealing?
Pats straight up. Probably just Pats money line.
All right. Okay, let's keep rolling.